ETours Russia, and we decided to keep you posted on all of the upgrades in the park VDNKh, since you loved our video about VDNKh. If you didn't watch it, please tap the link and subscribe our YouTube channel. VDNKh Park today is very different compared to the beginning of the 20th century. It has a very large area with several pavilions and plenty of different museums. We are going to show you some of them. Watch the video till the end, as we this time prepared an exclusive interview with the senior advisor to the head of VDNKh Park, Yulia Skoromolova. But first, look at this beauty. This is the famous fountain called the People's Friendship, and it's presenting 16 republics of the former Soviet Union. They're all presented by girls, and they can be distinguished by the costumes they are wearing. They are traditional national costumes of these 16 republics of the Soviet Union. Second significant fountain in VDNKh, the Stone Flower Fountain, brings the name and the design from the fairy tale written by very famous writer Bazhenov, the Stone Flower. It is believed to be the first with lights and sounds in Moscow. The third significant fountain of VDNKh, along with the People's Friendship and the Stone Flower Fountain, is the fountain called Zolotoy Kolos. So it's just behind the Space Pavilion, and a couple of years ago it was closed for restoration. Nowadays we have a chance to enjoy it. Remember, we've been to the Space Pavilion of VDNKh. We are getting back to this pavilion to enjoy the wonderful view from the rooftop. Honestly, VDNKh Park doesn't have any rooftops, but for ETours Russia, impossible is nothing, and this is especially for you. We're almost like in the central spot of VDNKh Park, and from here you can find out the central alley, also the industrial square, and the model of the rocket we've showed you before, as well as the very nice view on the neighborhood. I want to see the cupola of the Space Pavilion. Today we have a wonderful chance to talk to the senior advisor to the head of the VDNKh, Yulia Skoromolova. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So we've been lucky to visit VDNKh many times, and we've seen a lot of things, facilities like the Space Museum, then the museums and pavilions. Also we visited skatering, and was it this place the same exciting, I would say educative and informative, let's say 15-20 years ago?
Yeah. Thank you for the introduction, but sure, the place was not like this 20 years ago. So at the end of the last century, it was like the market, like the big market, where people were trading different things, and people and guests who came to Moscow, who came here, were of course disappointed at what they saw here, because they remembered this place VDNKh in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, where there was all the magnificent buildings, here on the territory, and of course they felt pity for kind of disaster which they saw here. Then later in the year 2014, the greatest reconstruction started. All the buildings, all the territory were restored, and now we have only several buildings which need some restoration, but we can say that the grand restoration, renovation has almost finished. And we have here all these masterpieces, all the magnificent views, the buildings here to welcome our guests.
And for now, what are the main park development goals?
Now that we have finished restoration, of course, we should open the doors of the buildings for the visitors, for the tourists. And all the buildings contain unique exhibitions, and they hold unique concerts and unique exhibits. We now develop the services, we now develop the transport, we now develop the excursions, we now develop the entertainment for our tourists. And in fact, in the year 2019, more than 30 million people came to VDNH.
Can we announce the slogan for international travelers, like one day in VDNH? What it would be like? Museums, park?
Well, I guess it's like all Russia in one place. Yes, all Russia in one place, because in the buildings, in the museums, you can enjoy the information, the exhibits about technologies, about techniques, about arts, about even Eastern art. Yeah, so a lot of things. So you can also enjoy cartoon art. You can enjoy, transport, because there are two museums which have opened recently about transport. They are the garage of, VIP garage, and the transport of Moscow. Very interesting expositions, and I think all those who come inside enjoy what they see there.
Speaking about the international travelers again, so ETours Russia bring plenty of international travelers from all over the world, and as we see, this place is ready to host them. So can you kindly mention what are these facilities which would be useful for international travelers in the park?
Well, of course, the useful is the land and the territory, and you can enjoy the flowers, the roses, everything. In fact, it doesn't require any international kind of facilities. But speaking seriously, of course, we have prepared a lot of services for international travelers, starting from the consultants who speak different languages, including Spanish, German, and of course English, and even some exotic. And so they work in the information centers and provide all the information which is necessary for tourists. And they can even book the tickets for individual travelers. In our museums, all the guides speak English, and in fact there are very young and active, and there are very experienced who have seen a lot in their lives and can in fact offer not only the excursion but discussion and disputes even about some questions. In fact, international travelers ask a lot of questions about the history of the USSR, of the former Soviet Republic, and of course they would be very happy to receive a very experienced opinion. So on the territory you will see a lot of navigation stands with the information and in fact directions in which you can go, and all the information there is in 3 languages: Russian, English and Chinese.
The international travelers coming to Russia always have some limited time.
Yeah.
So one day in VDNKh, okay, but what are these places which are must while visiting the place?
So as for the thematic museums, I of course would recommend the Cosmos Space Museum. Another interesting kind of sector is the museums about technologies. On our territory there is the Museum of Oil, which is interactive and in which you can try yourself as the worker, which can in fact mine this oil. Another interesting museum is, as I have already said, VIP Governmental Garage. So you can see all the automobiles which belonged to the first persons of our state. For children, for families, there will be a very, I think, very useful experience to go to the cartoon museum. There, the children can try themselves as cartoonists.
Along with sightseeing, travel experience consists of shopping and food, and this is the main motivation for modern travelers to come to different countries. So what does this place have to offer?
Well, in fact, the gastronomy is the first motivation in most tours in the world. And here, of course, we can offer a variety of gastronomic pleasures, starting from pizzerias to fashionable restaurants. So on the place there are more than 100 gastronomic points. More than 100, and in fact you can taste here different foods, starting from Asian, finishing with classic Russian. For example, in the background you can see the point where you can buy those very buns, or in Russian ponchik. So it is the food which was very popular in the Soviet period, and people from different Soviet republics came here to try those buns. And we can also try them now.
Sure, sounds month.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
try.
А будьте добры, нам 3 порции по 2 пончика. And they are with the sugar powder.
Потом все лицо будет. Спасибо.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God, this is tasty, very tasty. Будем пробовать?
Ну, конечно.
Будем пробовать? Горячее. Yummy, yummy delicacy.
The very best ponchki.
So, dear guests, we are happy to welcome you on the VDNH territory. We are sure that you will enjoy every minute of your stay here.